Hello. Um, I'm gonna quickly go over vectors, which is a topic typically found at the end of a maths GCSE, and is often one of the hardest ones. So a vector is, in very simple terms, in a coordinate plane. A vector could be a line like this, from point A to point B. You can write vectors as column vectors, with the first number at the top being the shift in x, the second number being the shift in y. So let's say that the point here is 2, 7. The point here is, I don't know, 7, 11, then the change in x is 5, the change in y is 11 minus 7, which is 4. So this would be the column vector. And you can also use vectors in other ways. Like typically, this is an explanation of a vector. What you'll typically find is you might be given, let's say that this is vector A and this is vector B. Please draw vector A plus 2B. So then what you do is you take A and you put 2 B's on the end. Obviously I'm hand drawing this. You'd measure this with a ruler. You put 2 B's on the end, and then you draw a straight line like this, and that is vector A plus 2B. Now, when you get to harder questions, you might find things where you're given a shape, and you're told, for instance, that this is A, this is vector B, this vector here is 2B. I'll call these points like X, Y, Z, A, and you might be told to find like different points or different things. All you need to do is basically work out where you're starting from, work out where you're finishing. Like let's say you're finishing here. From x to a, you take this vector and it's 2b. But from x to z, for example, it's a plus b. So if you were told to go from z to a, then you'd go minus b minus a plus 2b. Minus b minus a plus 2b, same as b minus a. In simple terms, view vectors when it comes to diagrams as like you're going along a path. As long as you start at one point and you end at another point, it doesn't matter how weird your path is, you will always end up with the same vector thing, assuming you did your maths correctly. Because, for example, even though here I'm going backwards along b and then forwards along b, it's negative b plus 2b, which means 1b is cancelling out, just giving one single b. Yeah. Oh, and then harder vector questions. I'll go over this when I get onto further maths IGCSE. I don't think this comes up in normal maths, but sometimes you'll be asked to find like the ratio of, like let's say you've got a point M and you know a fact about this. You might be told to find the ratio between XM and MZ. All you need to remember to do is to find two methods to go from X to M. So for example, you could do X to M is a variable, lambda, of X to Z. Or you could do that X to M is XY plus a variable of Y to, let's say this is O, Y to O. So it would be A plus mu Y O. And you know that these two vector paths have to be the same. So you make them equal to each other and you just solve for your variables. I'll go over that in more detail in further maths IGCSE. If you're not taking further maths, don't worry about this bit. All you need to know is some very basic stuff over here. Yeah.